In the last video of this series, we built a windsurf board out of a plank of wood. And now it's time to take it to the next level.
It makes me wonder whether it's gonna float or not.
This video is proudly supported by Insta360, a 360-degree action camera which we used throughout the whole video. Our rules for today's project are quite simple. We have to be able to find everything in the local construction shop. We have to be able to finish the construction in one day. The board must work with the fin and with the foil. And lastly, we're not allowed to laminate the board.
So there's one big improvement that we want to do from the last version, which is we want volume. We want the thing to float because we got to foil it. And there's a big learning we had from last time. We need wood which doesn't suck water because the board got so heavy. We got to get probably some foam and then some wood that doesn't suck water. So we're at the construction shop now, and luckily we're pros, so we know exactly what we're doing. The finest pine wood. Fun fact, some brands are even using pine wood in their boards. Obviously not as thick as the pine wood we have, but their way of constructing boards is a whole lot different than what we're planning. I would say ours is much more advanced and professional. That being said, we have to figure out how to seal the board and how to seal the wood. And these are two different things. Because on one hand, we need to make sure the wood doesn't suck any water. So we got to seal it. We didn't find any impregnated wood that completely protects the water from penetrating into the wood. So what we found is varnish, and that's going to give us a protective layer around the wood. What we want to do now is we want to foam the board from the inside because we're not quite ready yet to seal the board completely. And I think that's going to be the next step, maybe for another video, because obviously you can leave the board inside empty, just have some stringers to support. But in order to do that, you need to use epoxy, you need to use glass, which is what windsurf brands do when they use wood in their boards.
So if everything goes to plan, we will shape the outline of the bottom, then we will shape the rails and attach the first rail. In the next step, we will attach the deck of the board onto the rail, fill the inside of the board with foam, close the board with the second rail, and lastly mount the fin box and the fin, the foot straps and the mast base.
So now we have a rectangle which is 230 centimeters by 85 centimeters. 85 centimeter width will allow us to have a light wind slalom board, kind of. Okay, let's not call it slalom, let's say free ride board. And for foiling also the perfect size, so it's a good combination between the two. And now we have to give it a little bit of an outline.
So we ran into a little bit of a problem with the rails because the wood for the rails was so thick that we couldn't actually bend it around. If we did, it was gonna break. So we would have to find a way to make sure the wood gets a bit thinner, at least in some areas, so we can bend it around and give it the shape of the outline.
Yes, we've got the outline, we've got the rails, we found a workaround and we're damn proud of it. Look at these beautiful rails. So this is what we did. We took the overhead drill and we drilled these little gaps into this wood plank so we can give it a little bit of curvature. So we can have a nice outline. This is what we're gonna have. And as you can see, this is our scoop rocker line, so we're going to have a little bit of scoop. We're going to have a little bit of a narrowing towards the tail. We need this thickness here to get the fin box in, and then behind the fin box is going to get more narrow. And now it's time to get it varnished up, make sure it doesn't suck any water, and let it dry for a bit. I like how we're using the old board as our working desk at the moment with all the stuff on it. So round about 4 hours later, the varnish is, well, kind of dry. It's still a bit, you can feel that it just dried, but we can work with it. So we got the first rail on the board, we got the tail ready, we got a beautiful diamond tail. And next step is the fin box. All right, it does look more and more like a windsurf board, doesn't it? We've got some stability, and if you guys have any suggestions of what would be the next step for us, then please let us know in the comments. We're not professionals in carpeting, and I'm sure some of you guys are much better than us, but that's what it is for now. Far from perfect, but we're pretty happy with it. Okay, we have a bit of a problem. We totally overestimated how much volume we're gonna get out of the foam. We bought 3 cans and it just got us this far. We were able to fill out those 2 chambers, so that allows us to at least put the deck on top. But yeah, we didn't get much out of these bottles. And today is a Sunday, so in Germany that means construction shops are closed. So that's actually pretty disappointing, because we're gonna have to wait until we can get new foam to fill out the rest. Oh my God! Wow, beautiful. Oh, I hope this is gonna close here. That might be a problem. Fuck! Fuck!
The rails actually took us so long to get done, and we were kind of proud of them and super careful whenever we moved them around, because we didn't want them to snap. And in the end, that's actually what happened. So we were super bummed out, and we had to find a solution.
Guess what? I've got some foam, and today this baby is gonna come alive. It became a 2-day project. We wanted to finish it in 1 day, but unfortunately we had to stretch it over 2 days. And another round. There's a freaking fin box integrated in the board. It looks so cool.
Alter. Nicht zu fest?
Fest! Geil. It's alive! We've created a monster. It is a monster, to be fair, but it looks beautiful. Okay, it's not that. It's heavy, but it's not that heavy. Now we gotta weigh this baby so that we know whether we did a good job with sealing it and insulating it from the inside or not. So we know afterwards whether it sucked water or not. Oh, that's not heavy at all. 32.6.
That's really disappointing. It was not supposed to be that heavy. And actually it makes me wonder whether it's gonna float or not. So we actually built the board a couple of days before we could test it, because I recently cut my toes open at my last windsurfing experience in Turkey. And by the way, if you ever want to join us for a windsurfing experience, have a good time on the water, improve your windsurfing skills, be sure to check the link below. You will find all the information about upcoming clinics. And now that my toes are healed, I would say it's finally time to test out the beast. Right inside the keel bay, with perfect conditions, we've got about, I would say, 18 to 22 knots, roundabout, maybe 15 to 22. And we've got a beauty of a board, which I might need some help to carry actually. Dennis, das ist echt schwer. We have 4 challenges which we kind of need to achieve. First of all, it's gotta float. This is something our last board couldn't do, so I really hope it's gonna float. It's pretty heavy, but we'll see. Second challenge is we want to get it planing on the fin. The third challenge will be for it to foil, and the last challenge will be the weight check, because we want to make sure the board didn't suck any water. It will probably get a little bit, but it shouldn't take too much. But before we get on the water, we gotta give a shout out to Insta360, who are supporting us and is obviously, yeah, kind of the best action 360 camera you can get. I've been using Insta360 since 2019, I guess. I will show you some of the very early footage I did with those cameras. So I've been using 360 cams for quite a while. We had a little bit of a break in between where we used the GoPros, and actually we didn't really like the footage of the GoPros, so therefore you didn't see much action cam footage lately, but that will change now because we really like the footage of the Insta360 much better. So this is the mount we're having here, and obviously you have the invisible selfie stick, so it kind of looks like a drone is following you. And by the way, together with Insta360, we are running a raffle for an Insta360 X4. So one of you guys could actually win this camera. Super nice colors, 8K footage, extremely smooth, you will see in just a second. And as you saw, we recorded all the progress of constructing the board with this camera. So super cool to record your progress, super cool to record your sessions. And if you want to get the chance to win this camera, all you gotta do is leave a comment below. Let us know what you want to do with this camera. Be sure to be subscribed to the channel, and the winner will be announced in our WhatsApp group, which is linked down below. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sending this out to one of you guys. So I would say let's extend this baby and let's see if I can get this thing planing. I think it's floating. Yes! It's floating! Oh my god, I'm flaming! No freaking way! We don't have to worry about damaging the board. Sick. Ah, it worked. Sick.
That was amazing.
Oh, that was crazy. Ah, that was unbelievable. Wow, so stoked. That was actually kind of fast. I didn't take my GPS watch, but it felt fast. I was flying and it floated. So first 2 challenges, I would say, ticked off. It floated, we were planing. It just needs so much power to get it going. I mean, the shape obviously is nothing amazing, and it's so heavy, you can feel it in the jibe. Once you lose a little bit of power in the sail, you lose your speed immediately. I would say I wouldn't give full points. I mean, did we foil? Yeah, like we foiled, but it wasn't glorious. The geometry was just off. We would, with this weight, we would need the foil way further forward. I had to step all the way behind the foot straps, and even then I didn't have enough lift. So the foil would need to be even further forward. We already put it further forward than you would normally do because we knew it has some weight, but yeah, I think it could work a lot better with the foil further forward, but we foiled. And here we are at the end of our maybe a little bit stupid video. Let us know in the comments what you want to see us doing next, what's the next step for the sport. And there's one last thing we need to check on, because we had a challenge about the weight of the board. So we got to check on whether this board sucked any water or not. So that's about 2 kilograms more than before. And I would say that's not too much because the other boards suck way more water. So fourth challenge, success.